Hey y'all, I am Emma Fass from RingSide Pro, and I'm so excited to share another clinic with you today. This video is from a jumper round, which is so fun because we actually have clinicians with experience in hunters, jumpers, equitation, dressage, and even Western riding on RingSide Pro. So any rider of all kinds of different levels can find a clinician that will work for them. This particular video was submitted to Winn Alden, and it is from the medium amateur jumpers, so it will show how riders of all levels really can learn so much from these clinics. Let's get started. Before we get started watching the video, I just wanted to go over the questions that Alex gave to Winn before she submitted the video. You can always do this through the RingSide Pro website so that your clinician knows exactly what you're trying to get out of that particular clinic. Alex wrote, "This is a speed round in the medium amateurs at Kentucky. My horse is very strong and her excitement increases as the course goes on. She's super brave, but a bit careless over some jumps, especially with her front end at the end of a course." Okay, with that, we will watch some clips and see what Winn had to say. We'll go back and forth from watching the video to reading through the information Winn wrote for Alex. As a reminder, your clinician fills out a feedback form that includes technical, style, turnout, and an other general feedback section. To start, we'll watch Alex's video that she submitted. We'll start with the technical feedback. Winn wrote, "I'm thinking, and this is just my opinion, that if the horse gets strong as the course goes on, I would shorten up the approach to the first jump, especially in the jumpers where the horse needs to stay in a more bouncy rhythm and not let the horse's stride get quite so loose. The first rail at fence 3 is because the horse gets a little loose and the rider is having to leg at the jump to get to it rather than support leg up and off the ground. The short turn up the hill to the combination created the best jump for the horse. She had power through the short turn, and it being uphill, the horse was able to push up and jump easily. Coming down the hill, you can see the horse getting stronger and the stride getting away from the rider. This is where I would do a hard half halt in between each fence in that line. She had a lucky rub on the last fence of that line, but it could have easily been a rail." Let's go back and watch that first part of the course. Winn wrote, again, the short turn to the red vertical, even though it's downhill, created a compact stride with power, and the mare jumped nicely. By the long ride to the last jump, the horse just drags the rider right through it. This is where, as a rider, you need to know she will be strong and gallop away from the second to last fence, but then a strong half halt about just when you are coming around the red combination, and reset her for the last jump. The rider also has to be aware of time, so knowing where on course she can turn a little tighter or save a little time is important so that in the difficult areas of the course and by the end of the course she can take more time and reset the mare. Now let's go back and watch the second part of the video. In the style feedback section, Winn wrote, this horse doesn't have the tightest, most careful front end, so it's important to keep her in a compact canter and going up off the ground and not having to push her at the jump. As a rider, doing flat work with stirrups 2 holes longer than the jumping length will help with balance, strength, and a quiet, effective leg. Also, cantering in 2-point over poles on the ground placed at the 12, 3, 6, and 9 positions of a clock in a circle is a great exercise for hunters, jumpers, or eck. The rider can really feel weaknesses in themselves and the horse. How slightly falling in or bulging out can really affect the horse's jump. It also creates muscle memory, so the rider isn't thinking leg, hand, open rein, inside, outside, etc. Also, riding on the buckle and steering with just your leg is also another great way to create muscle memory and have a stronger, more effective leg. This is a bit different, but I feel it helps me. I listen to a playlist when I ride, and it's shuffled so you aren't sure what's coming up, and you lengthen, shorten, and do various lateral exercises in time with the music. This helps you think on your feet and react, and also makes you do one transition after the other without thinking about exactly what you're going to do next. I really like that Winn added in this little bit about the music because that's something I've never heard of before, and I think it would be a really fun exercise for a lot of riders. In the turnout feedback section, Winn wrote, the horse and rider are turned out nicely with clean boots on the rider and proper jumper tack on the horse. The horse looks happy and healthy and capable of this job. In the final other feedback or general feedback section, Winn wrote, in the jumper ring, it looks like this rider almost starts out a bit like a hunter course and finds herself in a hurry by the end. I was always of the mind to be efficient in the beginning and get time under control in the beginning so that by the end of the course you can take your time without worrying. Obviously, the rider may have to vary that depending on horse and the course and the time allowed. Also, especially in the jump off, it's not about speed as much as being efficient. Turn tight and with power and smooth. The more you have to push-pull, the more time it takes. I hope you learned as much from that as I did. And if you would like to submit your own video, just remember that it's always private between you and your clinician until you've reviewed your feedback, and then you're able to decide if you would like for it to be public so that I can share it in a video like this, or it can be posted on the website for other riders to review. If you would like to submit your own clinic, you can do that at ringsidepro.com, but be sure to come back here to see more clinic review videos just like this.